Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Also, good morning, Katali. I actually set up my Twitch chat this morning before actually doing a stream, so I'll be able to share the link out easily. All right. So we reached the end of chapter 1 of The Nature of Code. The rest of the exercises just sort of were a variation of the same things or non-graphical, and so I decided to skip those and move on to this last project. So, if you don't know, Nature of Code is a book by Daniel Schiffman. I actually have a physical copy that I purchased, but it's also a book that you can read online for free, which is the one of the big reasons that I wanted to choose it here. So, this the final project for chapter 1. So I guess maybe not final project is called the Ecosystem Project. And so the idea behind this is we're going to be creating different like creatures according to what we've learned so far in the book. Now, I looked at that, and so I saw these images, and in my mind, I just immediately went to the web game Agar.io, which I don't know if you've heard of it, but basically it's spheres or circles that are floating around. They eat food, they get larger, and then they can eat each other, and then the last one living wins. I kind of like that idea of doing something like that, even though it's not exactly what the book has in mind. So I think that's where I'm going to go. Is each chapter I'm going to add a different, like, one new creature into here, which is really just a different colored circle, and it's going to be based upon how what we learned in that chapter. So in this one, we didn't really learn like new mechanics of moving, but maybe new mechanics of moving, but we didn't learn any kind of like artificial intelligence stuff, which we might in the future. But instead, we're learning just movement, like random walking. So that's what I'm going to do. 2 different types of random walkers in this arena. Now, whether or not I finish today, that's a completely different question. The game was very popular 3 or 4 years ago in Spain. Yeah, no, I think it was very popular everywhere. I remember 3 or 4 years ago, just everybody playing it. I checked it out recently, and apparently they've added a battle royale mode. So I don't know how that's like super different than the other ones. I guess that you could win. Um, but all right, that is the plan for today. So before I forget, let's connect our Twitch bot. And I've already created a project, which this one just happens to be called Ecosystem. So much better name. All right, so then we'll go ahead and get started here. So what do we need? First of all, in our cargo toml, we're going to create GGEZ. Save that. And here we want the, what is it, gmain. All right, glad I got the mute for that. Sorry about that. Let's see, and this is the ecosystem project, and nothing else really for that. Save, and then we want our library, so we can start bringing things in. This is so much easier that now I've got all this set up. Maybe a little time. Is this readable as it is? Let me know. And then we'll have our lib.rs. And so like whatever mod we want to end up using. So I'm thinking like the main sort of like game arena, but the first thing we're gonna put in is like the foods, like the pellets. So we could have food. And then we're also going to want to do the same thing for whatever like random walkers that we have. So of course I can't find that. Oh, I just clicked away, so I lost my tab. And I think that's good here. So let's begin. Now, if I comment you out, obviously you won't work, but everything else should now work. I can now begin compiling it. Just to make sure everything is working properly. Let's see. What are you yelling about? Oh, there's no comma here. That's a problem. Aha. Okay, so that's, we need to fix the what is it? The snippet. So that was in glib. We're just missing under the struct down here a comma. All right. That'll be good for next time. Some weird formatting on line 22. That might have fixed it. Oh yeah, the tab. Like that. And you tab in. So what is it? Struct window game. Okay, yeah. So I think you need to be tabbed, and you need to be tabbed twice. I think that's what that is. Hey, and our game works. Perfect. So we'll save you. And let's go ahead and start putting in put all the food. You know, for this type of game, I'm thinking right now we'll just leave it at the size of where it is, and then as we increase like the number of creatures in there, 58 in here. This one? Oh yeah, okay. So this one's the tabbed. I think I switched away from the file before you were able to do it properly. And Twitch Highlighter doesn't yet have the ability to choose which line. All right, so thank you for that. I still caught it though. Let's go ahead and create our food module. So that's going to be a food.rs. So in here, we're going to have a pub struct food. And so what do we want? It's going to stay still, so it doesn't have to have any movement with it. But what we are going to have is location. So this is going to be a location, which is going to be a point. So we need to bring in algebra point 2. Okay, so in F32.2, we need to have how much food it's going to provide. So like like how nutritious it is. How many grow points you have. Would nutrition make sense as a word here? Like, would another developer actually like see that and understand what that means? I think so. So nutrition. I'm thinking, so this will be the number of pixels. I want to say this is going to be the number of pixels. Calories. Also, good morning stacking. Value would be better for you. Nutrients, calories, nutrients. Oh geez, those are all good. maybe calories, and then later on we can like try to change that around. I don't know. I mean, it should be relatively simple to change that because I can make a getter essentially to return the calories or nutrients, and that would be easier to update. Plus, also VS Code has new features that allow me to sort of like right click and just change the variable everywhere. So we can test that out too. So this is really just going to be an F32. What else do we care about? I want to tie the color of it to the calories. The size is all going to be the same, but we could just store that in here. So like the size is going to be an F32. So location, calorie size. I think that's all we care about right now. Let's implement for food. So we want to have a public function new. I'm thinking that this is going to be like completely randomized, but it needs to be within the window. So it needs to know where to go. So we're going to take a width, which is an F32, and a height, which is an F32. And we're going to return a new food. So I'm thinking, let's just let this calories, right now, they're all going to be the same. We'll just say like 10. And size, that's going to be based upon, oh no, size is going to be the same too. So let size equals, what if I make this 10.02? That might be too big, I don't know. And then location will be interesting, so let location equals 0.2 new. So we're going to have the X, which is going to be the width. So here's where we need random stuff. So let's go ahead and I don't think I created one for, yeah, no rand in here. So let's go do that. Nope, not you. You. So 0.7, let's add this in for the creates the TOML. All right, so this is gonna be cargo TOML rand. All right, prefix. And the body is just very simply going to be that, which of course we need to backslash these. Description is going to be use rand. Okay, so then if we switch back to our cargo TOML, come to the bottom, and we'll just say rand, and there we go. The size could be set according to the calories it provides. Yeah, it could do that too. For right now, I'm gonna have them all be the same, but like when we actually have the rendering function, we could definitely do that. Can you just do a return and set the value that way instead of the unnecessary variables? Yeah, I actually can. If we do this, I could also just do this. Food and do calories colon like that. This is probably better. comma, comma. All right, so this is that we're just, tab that in. We'll have our food, so we'll store calorie size and location. We have our new point. We need to bring in rand now, and we need to set that up. So every single time I need to look this up. So that sounds like a good snippet. So we need to bring in the rand prelude. You're always about saving them extra allocations. Yeah, I could see that working. All right, so probably don't need to worry about the prelude too much because this is the real thing that matters. So let RNG. I'm gonna be using random number generator throughout the application. So I'm thinking of maybe I just created this once. And then I pass it in. I don't know if that's a good idea, or each of these can like create their own random number generator and store them. I'm not really sure what the what the best thing to do here is, because I don't know how isolated I want food to be. Like already I'm passing in the width and height of the entire arena. So let's see, we're gonna have that mute RNG. We're gonna create a new thread RNG, and then we just generate a new float. Oh, and gen range. You're only supposed to seed the value once per application run. Okay, that makes sense. So that means I actually want to potentially add rand. Since I need it in like almost everything, I might as well put this into my lib. So the rest of JSON here in glib. Put in userand prelude. Let's see, what else? Then I'm gonna create a random number generator. So in our struct game, we can store this. So this will be RNG, which is type. I think it was thread RNG like that. I should do this here to verify. Okay, so and prelude, and then I want to say something like that. Is it rand? You're not helping me. Failed to resolve use undeclared type or module rand, which is right there, but it's not compiled in, so maybe it can't find it. And then we can generate random numbers using this this RNG. That's what I want to grab, and then here. Is it still? No, it's not running yet. Maybe it'll figure it out after I compile it. In fact, I should probably compile it right now just to see what errors I get, so that way I can set the types properly. Use of undeclared type or module rand. Okay. Did I forget to? Oh, I forgot to save. That's what I forgot to do. Not found in rand. Okay, so that makes sense. Now in our library, what do you return? Just thread RNG. So can I just do this? Yes. Okay, that worked. So failing to save your file doesn't help. So now we're saving this RNG here, which means in our food RS. Oh, also, like what else do I need to care about here? So we have our rand prelude, which I brought in our rest.json here, and then this goes into the game. Is that what I have? No, that's not what I wanted. Oh yeah, no, that does create it. So there, I think that's what we need. Set in food, we're bringing in rand prelude so that I can say that I'm going to bring in RNG, which is a type thread RNG. You always just save with save all to avoid that problem. I don't actually remember what the command for save all is. It like Control Shift S, I think? No. I'll figure it out sometime. All right, so that gives us this. So we want our random number for the location and have that between. So let's do that over here just to make it a little bit cleaner for this new location point. So go to File and it says a shortcut. No shortcut. So that's helpful. Let's see. Let so this is gonna be our let x. So let x. We need to say this is gonna be an F32 equals RNG dot gen range between 0, 0.0 and width. What does gen range return? Oh, it's not going to tell me right now. Mac has a default for save all, but oh, maybe I have to like set that as a keyboard command. That might be what I have to do. Let's go take a look at gen range. It just returns the type 0 to 10. Okay, so that's pretty much all I need to do to get x, and then let y type of F32 equals RNG gen range 0.0 and height. And now here is going to be x and y. All right, so it gives us our food location. Try Control Alt save. When I get to a new save thing, I'll try that. Okay, so theoretically I have our food created here. You're upset. Why are you upset at me? So RNG type thread range. Oh, can't borrow as mutable as not. Okay, so you need to be mute here. Expected type, found keyword mute. Wait. Where? It's not put here, is it? I always get confused as where exactly I put the mute. Okay, so perfect. So method is not used. Now I can come back to this. Let's try Control Alt S. Nothing. So that didn't work either. I could probably set the keyboard shortcut. Until then, save. All right, so we're gonna want to create a bunch of new food. I'm almost thinking that we want to do this every like 1,000 frames, just sort of like, or every 100 frames. Oh, how do we know it didn't save? So up here, if I make a change, there's a dot that appears. And so when that's saved, the dot goes away. So that's how we know it didn't save. I could start with a bunch of food. So that's... Oh, you never noticed that, Al? That's actually something that happens in a lot of operating systems, is the dot like will appear to let you know it's not saved. It's really handy. All right. Let's create like 5 foods. Yeah, I think that's what we want to do. So here we're gonna have our foods, and that's gonna be type. It's gonna be a vec type food. So let's create our food here. So we'll just say let foods equals, it's going to be a vec bang, which is nothing in here for right now. And then we'll we don't really care about this number. We'll do 10 of them. All right. So creating 10 foods in here. Let's now just run the food. So foods.push food new. Okay, so we need to bring in the window width, the window height, and RNG. Cannot find value RNG. Oh, you need to be up here. Okay, so it gives us that. We still need RNG, and we'll have foods. Oh, you need to be mutable. All right, so now we created our foods. Update, I'm not gonna worry about updating right now. Let's get this drawing. So in our foods, we need to have, I'm thinking that, so this will be an experiment. I'm thinking I can have the meshes created in here, and it just returns the meshes, and then we'll draw them in the library. So we could have a pub function draw. This isn't going to take anything in, except I do need a mutable reference to self. And I want to return the mesh. I have no idea what this is going to be, so let's just let the error tell us what it should be. Okay, so what do I want to do? I want to loop through. So I need to create a bunch of meshes. So let meshes. Just an empty vector here. And I need I need GGEZ. So use GGEZ, graphics, and the mesh builder. All right, so we're going to meshes.push. Actually, you know what? This is just creating one new one. So actually, I don't need an array. I don't need a vector of these. It's just going to be its own mesh. So that's all it's going to do. So we're going to return a mesh builder. So mesh builder new. Oh, I think it's a game result. That's what it returns. Okay, so that's graphics. I think I want to use GGEZ game result. So game result like that. Okay, so we're going to create a new mesh builder. This is going to be a dot circle. So, so like the problem is we need a draw mode. That's under graphics here. Is that not under graphics? Graphics. Yeah, draw mode. That's under graphics. Why don't you like that? Why does game result return a unit instead of a proper type? Yeah, no, I don't know why. It's just the documentation always suggests to use that. I don't know if that means that they're expecting us to just know to change that to whatever it's supposed to be, but I don't know what mesh builder really returns behind the scenes, and this seems to work. So I don't know. It just seems to, I don't know. It's confusing sometimes. What is that? Fill. I'm sad that I wasn't getting the auto completion there. Oh, is it because I failed to use the correct? It's because I used parentheses instead of curly brackets. So I had an error up here. And now, yes, okay. So fill our point. This will be self.location. Our radius is going to be self.size. Our tolerance is going to be 0. Ooh, so we can do some cool things with this. We can do like 0.5 to make it not purely spherical. And our color, we need to create a new color for this. It might be easier just to create that up here and then use it. So let's do that. So under graphics, we can also get a new color. All right, so this is gonna be color. I think I can do from RGB. So red. Let's do 0.0. Let's do green. Can I do something like, I want to map this so that calories is based upon like the green, but the more dense it is, like the more green it would be. line 16, I need to use integers. Is this integers? Oh, I do. Okay. 0. Oh yeah, it's U8s. Okay, so green. This, well, let's for right now, let's just set this to be 255. So like fully green. And then later on we can decide if we want to like automatically change that. So thank you, Katali. So then we'll add, you are going to be color and your type color. Self.color. Okay, and then we're going to have a dot build, and that's what we're going to, oh, dot build has the context. I guess we need to pass in the context, which is type context, which is a mutable reference to context. I think it goes on this side. Yeah. Then you are just going to be context. All right, so that will be what we return. Maybe you're upset. Mismatch types found. Expected struct GGEZ context found. Reference to mute underscore. I mean, this function is not even being used yet. Oh, did you mean context GGEZ context? Huh. Does this go on the other side? Because I'm able to put mute there. Do I have to not put the reference part? You think that's RLS being, well, that makes the that error go away. How about you? Specifies where their mesh should be. So expected, oh, found struct graphics mesh. Okay, so graphics mesh. So can I put graphics mesh, not mesh builder, mesh, as my return type? Of it, no use of undeclared. Oh, so graphics. Wonder if I could just bring in mesh here. Like that. Oh, so I'm trying to get away from not. Oh, do I need to? Let's see. Now this is expected mutable reference found struct context. Well, that's okay. So if I add the mutable reference to here again, it now says that this is the problem. Let's let the actual real compiler make that call for us. I don't know if I need the question mark here or if that is, and I'm going to put the question mark on the other side. Yeah, I don't know. So let's do this. We're going to draw. It's now an in draw here. I want to loop through these foods. So we're going to say for food in self.foods. And for each food, I want to get the mesh. So let mesh equals food. So I guess I'm going to call this like food mesh equals food dot draw. I need to pass it in the context. And I need to question mark this, I believe, to get this food mesh. Let's see. Expected type, context, found type, mutable reference. So is it mainly because, yeah, you know, I'm telling you to be mutable reference. Draw doesn't return an option here. Draw returns a game result, so it does return a result, not an option. Let's see. Food mesh, and then we want to draw this. So I think that's going to be graphics draw. So we need to pull in, oh, we have graphics there. So graphics draw. We'll pass in the context, the drawable, so a reference to the food mesh, and the parameters. So this is where it gets interesting because we need a 0.2. I don't even have, oh, 0.2. So 0.2 new 0.0, 0.0. What does draw return? It returns a game result. So this will be a question mark. Okay, so you're upset. Well, I don't want to read those error messages. So let's save this and try to run it and get the real error messages. So expected struct gguz context found mutable reference. Are you being dumb? But I thought question mark was to unwrap the inner option. Oh, I think question mark is for results, not options. Unless I'm reversing it, then so maybe both of us need verification with that. Okay, so it's yelling at us because context, it found a mutable reference to context. But that's exactly what I want, a mutable reference to context in here. So am I doing this wrong here? Do I put it over here? Yeah, apparently. Okay, the trait convert from float to U2. So what is this? Draw context, food mesh, point. Wait, so which thing? And I was, okay, so draw param. Where did I have a non-float? These are off 32s. The color is the only non-F32, but it shouldn't matter. Required by GGZ graphics draw. Okay. Is it my random number? Is that not F32? That should be an F32. It's not liking my color? What? From RGB. This is literally my color from GGEZ. Check the params of draw. Okay, so let's... So, which draw? This one, probably. Draw. So, reference mutable self, the context, this, graphics draw. So, context, the drawable, and then a new point. Well, the point 2 is, we can see that that's there. So it must be this mesh that we're getting. So that the only non it's saying that point 2 is not oh, right, because this needs, I forgot, this needs to be in a tuple. So if I do that and then comma, that should work. You're right, Katali, you got... All right, so that works there. Now what? You need, cannot move. Okay, so I need a reference to self. And now cannot borrow. Can I do this as like mutable? We always mess that one up. We're 3 through 3. Excellent. That's good, right? Okay, let's see if we got food showing up. Hey, look at that. We got random food. These are really big. I'm thinking let's make the food much smaller. So for size, we can do probably something like 3 pixels. Because it's such bright green, it's going to be visible across the dark background. All right, so perfect. We have our food. Let's go ahead and commit and send this on up. So we have random food. Now what I want to do is create a random walker and have it run around. And then every time it touches a food, it eats that. Okay, so random walker. In our library, we'll do mod. What type of walker would this be? I'm thinking, I guess we'll just call this a walker, like a random walker. What's the I don't actually remember what the recommended file name is here. So then we'll use random walker which means then over here we're going to create a random walker.rs. All right, so struct random walker. Okay, so what does a random walker need? Well, we know we need a location, which is going to be that 0.2, so we know we also need to use GGEZ and algebra 0.2. Okay, so we're gonna have our location. We need an accelerate. Well, we need a velocity. So we have our velocity, which is also a 0.2. And we need an acceleration, which is also a 0.2. Let's see. I'm thinking we're going to initially create the walker somewhere on the game map. It'll just be random. And I'm almost thinking that it just chooses a random spot on the map and then it just travels there. Or it could be random. It's either going to be random spot on a map and it just travels there, or it's going to be a random, just like constantly assigning random acceleration to itself. That might be more interesting, just because then it makes it look a lot more random, moving around. So we are gonna get the random number generator passed in probably constantly through the update function. So we need to know the size. So we need to know the size, and that's going to be just a pure F32. Is there anything else that we care about? I'm not sure. Oh, color. We know that's going to be this use GGEZ graphics color. So you are a color. All right. I think for right now, that's all we need. So let's go ahead and implement for the random walker. All right, so new. We know where to put it, so that's going to be the. Actually, I realized that arena width would probably be best. So the arena width is going to be an F32. The arena height is going to be an F32. We also need that RNG. So thread RNG. I think that's all I need for this. The color, I'm thinking, will just stay the same. So as we add new ones, we'll see what like the color is. Oh, and we know we're going to be returning a type random walker. All right, so random walker. Well, let's start with location then. So let x of type F32 is it? I think it's dot gen range. And it's going to be 0.0 to arena width. Okay, so we get our x and y, so that means we can now create our random walker, and we'll have a location is a 0.2 new x and y. Velocity. So we're going to just set this to be 0. same with acceleration. Size. Everything should start small. Maybe, I don't know, like 10 might have been too big for this, but we'll just start with 10. And color. Okay, so this is gonna be oh, you're not gonna be able to tell me. Okay, so from RGB, we'll do what color should a random walker be? Should it just be white? It's our like super simple one. I don't know if red, because it's not gonna be that dangerous. Black. Very funny, Danny. Let's try black then. 255 each. And then I guess actually this would be easy to just put in here because it's not random. It would be a stealth random walker. We wouldn't be able to see it. Okay, so it doesn't like this. Is it double colon? Might be that. Yeah, okay. So not dot. Right, because it's a full struct. I need to use the double colon. Okay, so that gives us that. Our RNG, you're upset. Oh, it needs to be mutable. All right, so let's go ahead and create our random walkers. So I'm thinking just one. But maybe we're gonna have like, oh, I don't think we can have creatures because our vector has to be a different one. So we're just gonna have a walker. So we'll just have them each as individual. So I'm gonna call this random walker is random walker. You thought mute went on the type, not the label. I mean, I constantly get confused with this too, because when I try this, I think it yells at me. Or maybe it doesn't. Okay. I have these other errors right here. So no, now it's yelling at me. Yeah, expected type. So it has to go over here. Was this a change in Rust? Like I vaguely remember doing it the other way, but maybe I'm just not thinking about it, right? Cannot find random walker in his scope. Well, you are. Oh, you need to be pub. Check out that mute location. Which one in here? In the library. You can do bang line and then the line number, and then it'll point out exactly where. So mute. In update, mute self. Yeah, I don't know. It worked. I don't know why. It does an error here. It changes the error here. I don't know what to say. Also, I think we did the same thing with food. So we put mute RNG here, and this works just fine. It feels inconsistent, and I don't like that. All right, so we have our random walker. We need to create a new one. I think I can just do that here. So new, the arena width. This is gonna be the window width. The window height, RNG, and I think that's gonna be it. And so just to display that, so that creates it. Let's make sure it compiles. Okay, so it still compiles. So now let's make it actually display to the screen. So in random walkers, we're gonna have our hub function draw. We need mutable reference to self. What did we need in here? Oh, the context. We need the context. Which means we need to grab that from just ggez. And the game result. And I think, oh, it will tell us that. I think we want that to be a mutable reference. So this is gonna be a context. Gonna return a game result of, we now know it's a mesh. So ggez graphics and a mesh and a mesh builder. Okay, so I have this context here. So let's go ahead and create our mesh. Do we have everything we need to create it? Well, let's just start. Let's just create it right now. So we're gonna return a mesh builder new. I think everything will just be a circle. Draw mode. We need draw mode also. So we're going to draw mode fill. We have point, which is going to be the location. We have radius, which is going to be self.size. Tolerance. This should probably be a circle. So 0.01. And a color. Build. And then we pass in context. So I think this is where we need to tell it that it's mutable. I mean, so let's try this here. Can I do mutable reference and that way the mute part? Yeah, okay, so I can do that. Then back to live, we want to draw the random walker. So in draw, we put all the food down. Let's now take I wonder, can I like just call this directly and get this? Cause I don't know if I can because it's not going to be a reference to it. Let's try it though. We'll do graphics, draw. So it's going to be our context. What's next? It's going to be the reference to the self dot random walker dot draw, which is context. That feels a little bit confusing to put inside of here. I might want to pull that out. And then another point to new. Okay, so you're upset. You're not upset here. You are definitely upset here. That feels a little bit odd. Let's just try compiling it. See what errors I get. Okay, so drawable is not implemented for result. Oh, right, because I need to question mark it. I question marked it here. So I do need to get this separately. So line 53, I left a comma. Wait, was that here? I think I want the comma there. I added some lines, so I lost it. I think you want the comma, otherwise you get an error. Which is, that's fun. Oh, here, that's wrong. Yeah, there, got it. Thank you. So let's do this. We'll let, so that random walker equals, and then that will be the self. Then we can question mark it. Now reference to random walker. There, that should work. So now we should get a white random walker. There we go. A random walker right there, randomly in that location. Okay, so now we want it to move around. So we'll come back to here and we'll create an update function. What do I really care about this? Well, I know I need the random number generator. What else do I need? I don't actually know if I need very much. I don't even need to return anything. This is just going to mutate itself. So in update, I want to add, create a new acceleration. So we need to create a new acceleration, and then we're going to add that to velocity. So acceleration. Do I want to do that all in one line? Let's try this. We'll shadow self.acceleration dot x. Here's what we're doing. We're going to set this to be like just a new number here. This needs to be mute, if I remember correctly. So we're going to say RNG dot gen. That's between 0 and 1. I think that might be way too small. If I do gen range, I can do like 0.0 and 0.0001. So we'll do the same thing. Okay, so we have our new acceleration. We want to now add that acceleration to the velocity. So can I do self.velocity plus... I think we couldn't do this before. No implementation for... Yes, add is not implemented for these 2 points. I have to do it manually. Ah, man. Every time I think like I can possibly do that, it would be super nice, but okay. I can't. So we'll just say... Okay, so now we're going to do, we get the velocities updated, and now we update the location. So that's essentially going to be the exact same thing here. Except instead of velocity here, this is going to be the location, and instead of acceleration, it's going to be the velocity. That should make it move around. Let's try it. Oh wait, I need to call the function. Just having the function there won't help. So in our library function in update, we're now going to say self.randomWalker dot update. And we need to pass it self.rng. You could just implement and add. It's only 3 extra lines of code. Yeah, that would actually be really nice to do. I might do that next time. I don't want to take too much time. And also, this just ran off the screen, so I want to fix that first. So that might be really nice to do eventually, so I don't have to like do that. I vaguely remember running into problems though implementing that ad. So I don't want to like run into that right now. Okay, so for update, I also want to prevent this from going off the screen. So if we do go off the screen, oh, let's just have it wrap. So in this update, oh, so this is going to be interesting. I guess the random walker now has to be aware of the screen, and so it'll wrap over to the other side to update its location. So what would that be? Just here in update, we could have, I guess I could just have a function wrap. But I'm going to need to grab in the window width. So the arena width and the arena height. Oh, these are F32s. And self dot wrap. Is wrap arena, is that the appropriate word for this? Wrap if off screen, which means I'll need to pass in, the context is fine, it's just the arena width. So the arena width and the arena height. So you need to be public. I'm actually surprised. It draws it without being public. For some reason, I thought it would need to be. All right, so you need to have the arena width F32. How did I do that? We're not going to return anything. We're just going to update. I'm in lib. No. That's why. Because I'm in the wrong function. Ooh. This is a... Yeah, okay, so I don't want you. I don't know, it's an interesting thing. It's like, everyone is gonna have to do this. I mean, I could reset the locations. So maybe that would be best, is I could wrap that off screen. So I could wrap it off screen. I already have the width and height on self. Although I do need to pass this in. So okay, so I do need like the width, F32, and the height, F32. But more importantly, I need, but each type will be different. So let's go ahead and just do this. I don't want to play with generics right now, but that would be a great place to great thing to do is generics. As long as everything implements like a location, but then I have to have the trait for it. So I could see where that could potentially be a little bit not fun. So let's just do this. Pub function. Actually, this is just going to be a function. Wrap if off screen. All right, so we need a width, F32, and a height. That RNG, oh, you're right. You're right. It'll always point down to the right. So let's change that too. That's the location, and here, gen range, we actually want it to be the exact opposite, don't we? So negative 0.0001. That's what we want. Okay. Height is an F32. I want it to. Is this all I need? Oh, immutable reference to the location. So location is going to be a mutable reference to a 0.2. You know, my other choice is just to do like self dot. And then I could just do mutable reference to self here. Then just pass in the self. Yeah, okay. Then I don't need to pass in the location like that. All I need is the extra width and height. I don't need to return anything. So now, all I need to do is check to see, are we off screen? So if self dot, so we could do the right hand side first. So if self dot location dot x, so if the middle of that plus self dot size, if that is greater than the width, then I want to move. So self.location.x, we'll set this to be equal to essentially negative self.size. All right, so otherwise, if we're on the bottom, could we like be both at the same time when we need to check them simultaneously? I don't think we do. I think it's going to be like one or the other. So else if we're at the bottom, so self.location.y, if that plus self.size is greater than height, okay, and else if, now it's going to be the left size. So self.location, let's see, self.location.x is like minus if that is less than 0.0. I feel like I'm doing this. So if we're on the right, we want this to be width plus self.size, and then last one. So if we're go up the top, so self.location.y, if you minus size, if you are less than 0. We're now going to set you to the height plus self.size. All right. So in update, we are now going to update your position, and now let's we'll just do self.wrap if off screen. We need to have the width and the height. So we now need to bring in the arena width. Okay, so that will be there. That will be there. And so then for update, I think that'll work. So now when it goes off screen, it should. What are you yelling about? Right, because I added you to the wrong thing. So this might be a little bit too low of acceleration. It's constantly moving in different directions, and that's canceling itself out. So it's never really getting anywhere. So let's make that a little bit faster. All right, so now it's sort of moving around. We also do want to make it so that if it does cross over a food piece, it grows in size. That also did not wrap the way I wanted it to. I don't think it did, because it disappeared completely off the screen. So that's not what I wanted to happen. What happened here? So we are wrapping it off screen. We're passing it the arena width and arena height. We are resetting the location. Does this size need to be cut in half? Is this, I think it's radius. So like set the size to be like exactly here plus half the size. That would be over here, like just off the screen. Then set it equal to minus, which would be right here. Now it disappeared off the left. So if we take a look at this, set the location at X. So if you were here on the left, you want to subtract the width of the screen, I think, not the width of the walker. Let me see. Self.location.x minus self.size. Well, okay, so if we are at, that would be right here, right? So we want to determine if it's right here, which is 0.0. Oh, okay. So if your location is less than essentially negative self.size. So if you're right here or to the left, then move you to width plus that. I think that's what I want it to be. Okay, so for the right, we want it to be like right here, so that's width. So if self.location.x plus self.size. Hold on, let me just redo this just a little bit. So if the width is, so if this point is less than the location plus the size, yeah, okay, so self.location.x plus self.size. Does this make more sense? Then we want to set the location to be on this other size here. So like that's right. Then down. So if height is less than self.location.y plus self.size, Another thing you can do when you draw it, just modify by screen width or update the position with the mod. I guess I could do that too. Let me try this first. Self location dot y. Okay, so then we set this to the top. Then this is going to be the left hand side. So if self.location dot x is less than this, so we want to see if we're right here. So if our location is less than that, and if our location is okay, so let's try this. I should also increase its speed, so that way it can get to the edge of the screen faster. Although right now, it's just making a beeline down. Oh, okay, so I didn't do that right. When I draw it, just modify by screen width, or just update the position with the mod. Yeah, so I screwed that up. Self.location x equals self.location.x modulus width. No ifs needed. Oh, really? So I just set that to be, well, if I set that equal, so self.location.x modulus width, would that be exactly what I want? We can try it. I'll just leave this be. So let's try that. So if we just say self.location.x equals self.location.x modulus arena width. You think ideally you draw it multiple times so you can show up on the left and right edges as it progresses across the boundary. Yeah, that would probably be best. I don't know, maybe the other thing is I could just make it, if it hits the boundary, it just doesn't pass it. And I just say like, hey, if you're past the right, you're just like stuck there and you can't move. That actually might be even a better option, is to not wrap it at all. I'm curious about this. Let's make this really fast. Let's see if that works. No, it didn't work. It also disappeared off the top. We'll see if it comes back. It's sort of thinking about coming back. What if I just don't wrap? What if I like keep on the arena? So if I, instead of wrap on screen, I just say like keep in arena. And okay, so if the width, let's do this again just to make sure I didn't screw it up. So we'll do my self.location again. So self.location.x. So that's wherever the ball is. So if it's over here, if it's trying to go over here to the right, now I want the left-hand side. So if I want to be over here. So minus self.size if that is greater than width, I want to set this to be width minus self dot size. All right, so at the bottom, we want it to be right here. So if self.location.y, if that minus self.size, if that is greater than height, we want to set location y to be height minus self.size. Then if the left, so if self.location.x plus self.size, if that is less than 0.0, we want to set self.location.x equals to self.size. And then finally, self.location.y, if that plus self.size, so down here, is less than 0.0, self.location equals just self.size. So if I do that, so fine, my math didn't work out the way I wanted it to the first time, so I'm going to punish the walkers for my failure and keep them on the screen. So not exactly what I wanted. I have it the opposite. Like it's allowed to go off and then it checks. I want it to like check when it's close to the edge. So what is that? That's so if self.location.x. I think I've just got these opposite, don't I? Because it's the left-hand side. That's right here. The self.location.x. That's right here. Oh, minus the size, yes. So minus the size. This will be minus. This will be plus. This will be plus. So save that. So now you can't escape. You're stuck in the arena. Really? Oh. Okay, so I screwed up the top. So the top here is this last one. Oh yeah, almost there. The top and the bottom are opposite. They're not even opposite. They just don't work the way I want it to. So we want like down here, right? So self.location.y minus, so self.location.y minus Phil, is this an exercise in the nature of codebook? Yes, it is. Although it's not really an exercise, this is the project. This is the chapter 1 project. So if that minus self.size is here, if that's greater than height, okay, so I think that will work. Then we set this to the height minus self.size. Okay, so then down here, self.location.y minus self.size, if that's less than 0. Okay, so maybe this will be what I want. Okay, now I've got wrapping working on the y-axis, and it's stuck on the x and y. Oh, fun. All right, so yes, I am using GG Easy. Okay, so this is working now. If this is at the bottom, right? So self.location.y equals height minus off the size. I would think that going off the bottom, like, and where did it go? I didn't even notice which direction it went off. But okay, so I think it went off the bottom, came off the top. So self equals, let's see. The bottom is this one. So self, the location at y minus self.size, that's right here. If that's greater than height, so coming off the bottom, then set self location at y equals to be height minus self.size. How is that not working? If you spot what I did wrong, let me know. I need to watch it again to see. Okay, so it's stuck on the right. It goes off the top and then just disappears forever. So the top is this one right here. So self.location.y. So if we want like right in this area, so self.location.y. Oh, interesting. It was stuck here, and as soon as it hit the corner, is this? Oh, I think I do need. It can't be the X's. I think I want to like remove this and maybe make this separate. Oh, that's just okay. Hold on. And then we'll just have you also be our other else if. Else if, no else there. Okay, so then we'll do the X's and we'll do the Y's at the same time. Okay, so can't escape on the left. Wraps when going down. Okay. Can't escape up. So it's just going down. So self.location at y minus self.size is greater than height. So if we're down here, I mean, how did I? That feels like it should be just right here. All right, so now that the right side corner is working. I don't know. I'm not seeing like that I used y accidentally. Self.size because we're just radiuses, so I don't need to worry about like the width and height of the walker. I'm not using width by accident. Do any of you see the problem? Self.location at y minus self.size greater than height. That would be like here, it tries to go down. Oh, should this be great plus? It's like if we're self.location at y plus self.size. is greater than height. Set the location at y. So like then set the location of the y to be the height minus the self-lit size. I would think that would be good. Now the other one is if we're here, so like the location's here, then minus, if that's less than 0.0, set it equal to just self-lit size. Okay, I think that should be fine. All right. Regardless, I'm going to have to get ready for work. So we'll have to implement the actual eating of the pellets. Is height the window height? Yeah, it's supposed to be. Okay, now it's working. So that was the problem. I didn't think that would be the problem. Yeah, so that's the arena height. It would be interesting to figure out how to use like a camera system so I can make this just a really, really, really huge arena. And then it could just sort of go everywhere, and we can maybe put the camera on the walker and just sort of like let it roam around randomly. But I haven't figured out how to use a camera system in GGEZ yet. I'm not even sure if they have. I don't know. Does it have one? Regardless, we'll let it sort of sit here. The wrapping would be nice so that it can actually like just keep on roaming around. Maybe we'll fix that next time and we'll actually get it to work, because now that we have this like actually working, so self-lit location, we should be able to set the wrapping properly. But until then, so walker walks around. I'm going to push that up. My code can be found on this GitHub repo. I'm going to share that out with all of you on chat. You can use that thing you did to put the random walker's location on top when it goes down, and then redo the food. So it seems like another part of the app. You can use the thing you did to put the random walker's location on top when it goes down, and then redo the food. Oh, so you mean like then I could just have like windows, like screens, like video game, like entire screens. So I'm not like fluidly following the walker. It's just more of like, hey, you move down to like window 2, so we do that. I think that works when we only have one walker, but as soon as I have like a second of these spheres, then they might go into like different rooms then. So that would be a potential, like I want them stuck together so that way they can eat each other. Because like I'm all about making bots and then having them destroy each other. Apparently that's my theme. So, but that would be cool if like I was making an actual game. But besides that, lots of things to think about. We can fix this in another time. I've got the code to you. I'm gonna push this up to YouTube also. It is Friday, so I am going to go ahead and get ready for the rest of my day. And my next planned streams are going to be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:45 a.m. I don't really have anything else, so I hope you all have a great weekend. And I'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.